Hi, everybody. It's Liz Downing from the Ecom Cooperative. I've got my friend Joe Marone with me. Hi, Joe.
Hey,
Joe and I we go way back. Prosper Show has been around for a long time. Emerald has been owner of Prosper Show for a long time. Um, and Joe knows the whole history. So, Joe, tell me the what, when, and where of Prosper Show and a little bit about how it's evolved throughout the years.
yeah, sounds good, Liz. Thanks for putting this together and having me on. Um, Prosper show is going to happen as it always does in March, except for that 1 year with COVID. But yeah, Prosper 2024 is going to take place at Mandalay Bay for the third year in a row now. The show is March 4th through March 6th, which is Monday to Wednesday. And of course, as most of the listeners probably already know and recognize, it's a full trade show experience that includes both a conference and an expo format. The conference is actually going to open on Monday, March 4th, while the expo hall is being constructed. And then we'll open the expo hall on Tuesday. So as people are flying in on Monday, they'll get their badges in the morning. They can start hitting the conference. We have a women's meetup at 11:30, and then the conference kicks off at 1 on Monday. Yeah, so workshops, breakouts, some presentations. It's going to be more of a light day, and then Tuesday, March 5th, is the first full day of the event.
And at the end of the day is the Prosper kickoff party at Skyfall, right?
That's right. Yep. In the past or historically, we've done a party after that first day when people are flying in, and the expo hall is being constructed. We went out to the pool at Mandalay. We're a week earlier this year, so pool's not yet open. We're heading up to Skyfall Lounge on Tuesday evening from 7 to 9 after that first full day of Prosper.
It's a great space, so I'm excited about that. And what were we going to wear to the pool party anyway at the beginning of March? Vegas isn't hot all the time, right? So there are some changes that are unique to Prosper 2024. I know in the past, day zero, as it were, was like straight workshop day. Workshops cost extra. The structure was way different. And as obviously the team for Prosper Show has iterated on what has worked and what hasn't worked and what you've been hearing from the sellers that attend, what's different about 2024?
Yep, good question. So I would say the event is evolving into a full-scale e-commerce marketplace event. As you know, we were founded on the principles of established Amazon sellers. Many of those Amazon sellers who have been coming out to Prosper since the beginning have differentiated their sales channels to sell beyond Amazon and are moving to international markets. The new sellers that are coming out to the show not only sell on Amazon, but they have their own e-commerce storefronts and products throughout other well-known marketplaces like Walmart, eBay, Wayfair, Etsy, to name a few. We've seen newer marketplaces like TikTok Shop and Shein take interest in our event as well, and both those companies are planning to exhibit at this year's event. We changed the structure of the pass types for attendees to make it more accessible for everyone, depending on what type of experience they're looking for. I would say, as far as something new or unique, we're going to be doing a fun thing this year where we give exhibitors a deck of cards to hand out individual cards to the sellers that are engaging with the exhibitors on the show floor. This is going to be like a poker run style competition where the sellers with the best poker hand at the end will win some cool prizes. and then we'll announce the winners at the end of the event on Wednesday, March 6th. Like you said, the party at Skyfall is something new. And then something that I touched on in the beginning that we're really excited about that we're doing is we've developed, or we have this first women's meetup on Monday, March 4th, which is it's 11:30 to 12:30 before the show opens on Monday. So this is going to be a special inaugural event session that women in the e-commerce industry wanting to expand their network and make new connections they can register for, either on prospershow.com or on the event app after the register.
I'm excited about that. So we talked about how the attendee profile has changed a bit. So we've got seasoned Amazon sellers, we've got retailers who are selling on multiple marketplaces, we've got people who are selling internationally. What are your recommendations for each of these types of sellers to participate in Prosper Show and get the most value out of it? Is it a combination of walking the expo floor and attending sessions? Is it networking? Is it all of it? What's the secret sauce?
Yeah, so I would say first and foremost, benefit-wise, they get to become part of a community of experienced sellers. Everyone at Prosper is there to meet, network, learn in a fun, engaging environment. Attendees can expect to gain access to the latest trends, innovations, all focused on maximizing their profits, scaling their business. They get to meet like-minded people, in a face-to-face scenario, senior executives, top US sellers, and other industry leaders and experts who are all there just to meet with people, network, and help others. I'd say as far as recommendations, once you're signed up, use the event app to navigate the show. Identify sessions on the agenda that you're most interested in and bookmark those, because the more popular sessions can get full. So you want to show up to those a bit earlier and know when and where those sessions are happening.
If I can also, there's a lot of stuff that goes on the expo hall floor that is also educational. And I know that I've seen in the past, because I've been to lots and lots of Prosper shows, people will hang around where the sessions are going, or they'll go to the expo hall just for lunch or breakfast or whatever. But you guys have done a really good job of adding value in the expo hall as well, and spacing out the sessions and not doing quite so many sessions, so that people can get the full show experience. And I obviously the Ecom Cooperative has a booth there. I'll be hanging out at it. So if you want to come see me, I might be there. If not, I'll leave a little card that says where you can find me. But so I don't have as much skin in the game when I'm telling people to come to the expo hall as I used to, but there is so much more value in the expo hall than there used to be. So will you tell me a little bit about the changes in the expo hall, what's going to be available in there, and what people can expect and take advantage of, other than all the exhibitor booths, which you should absolutely visit. And now you're going to be incentivized to visit, which is something you guys beta tested at Prosper Plus in New York over the summer. And that was really cool because I had the stamp. I was the holder of the stamp. But yeah, sorry. So expo hall, go.
Okay. Yep. There's going to be learning lounges on the show floor. Those will be 20-minute talks. And as you mentioned, we did spread out the conference content to create more dedicated expo hall only time. And that incentive with the poker run for creating engagement so that attendees are speaking with the exhibitors and getting something out of it. As always, we're going to be serving lunch on the show floor. What we did different this year is we moved registration, which is badge pickup, to the show floor. So it's no longer in a separate area. It's going to be on the show floor, so it'll create that behavior to have people, go up there more frequently. But yeah, I'd say those are some of the more, unique, different changes to the show floor that we're doing to create engagement.
I think the addition of the learning lounges is a really cool thing, because that's something that it's a format that's worked at other shows that I think definitely will benefit attendees of Prosper Show. So what are the different types of passes somebody can get?
Yep. So as far as access levels, we've got 3 different levels for sellers. There's the attendee all access pass, which will give the seller access to everything at Prosper, including the conference and expo, as well as meals that are being served, and then that party at Skyfall Lounge on Tuesday night. We've got the attendee conference pass, which is just access to the conference and expo, but it excludes meals and the networking party. And then we have reintroduced, due to high demand, an expo hall only pass. This is something we've done in the past that we didn't do last year, and we got a lot of feedback. People wanted it back, so we brought back the expo hall only pass for those who just want to walk the show floor.
I remember people wanted that. There are discount codes floating around too. I know as a member of the advisory council, I've got a code. I know that speakers have codes too. So if you're looking for a ticket and you want to get a discount, check out the agenda. The Prosper Show website is very comprehensive. You guys have a list of, you've got the agenda up, obviously, and we'll give a high-level overview of the agenda and some main themes that are going to be covered in just a second. But you've also got the show floor, so people can completely map out their route ahead of time. And you've also got a list of exhibitors, so you can kind of make your hit list if you're going to seek out certain types of services and talk to people on the show floor. So I think that's really great, and people should definitely, in advance of being able to download the show app, should check out that stuff on the Prosper Show website. And then if you know one of the speakers, contact them, because they're going to have a discount code that you can use too. So tip hack.
We'll have some discount codes as well.
And the Ecom Cooperative will have discount codes that we can give to you too. So we're hoping, and the last time I talked to you, you said that people were already registering. I know that a lot of times with industry conferences, especially our industry, people kind of wait until the last minute to sign up for things, but you've had people registering ever since registration's been open.
Yeah, we really have. And pacing year over year, last I heard we were over 50% more registrants at the same time period last year. So people are signing up, and people are signing up sooner in the cycle.
That's awesome. And then you always get a big push. I think it was something like 60% one year in the last 2 weeks before. So this could be the biggest attendee list we've ever had at Prosper Show. I'm excited about that, because the content, switching over to content, is going to be especially good. Christine works really hard to make sure the content is exactly what people want to consume when they're at Prosper Show. So from the keynote to the ever popular think tanks that are going to go on the first day and throughout. Are think tanks on just the first day, or are they all throughout all 3 days?
There's going to be a think tank on each day. Monday it's in the afternoon, Tuesday is an afternoon time slot, and then on Wednesday there's one in the morning.
Yeah, people love those. So if you don't know what a think tank is, it is a room where you sit down at a table with other sellers, your peers, and it's moderated by a main person up top, but then one person at your table to help facilitate discussion. And then Prosper Show shares the think tank notes after the show. So there's so much value in talking to your peers and talking to people about the different topics and pain points that sellers face and solving them together. That's basically what a think tank does. There are also, well, let's talk a little bit about the keynote because I'm super excited about that too. So who is the keynote?
We've got Dude Wipes will be presenting as the keynote.
I was at some conference, I think it was last year or the year before, and that guy was there and he had his hat on and people followed him around like he was this enormous celebrity, and he just was such a good sport about it. So I think he's gonna deliver a really good keynote, but it's gonna be entertaining too. So I'm excited about that. So let's end by talking about the types of companies that are represented in Expo Hall. You kind of threw it out there earlier in a like sneaky sort of aside fashion that like Shein and TikTok shops are talking about exhibiting, and how this is becoming more of an omni-channel conference than just Amazon. Of course, Amazon's going to have huge representation and people still have lots of questions about Amazon, but what types of companies can we expect to see in the Expo Hall?
Yeah, I'd say we're expecting more than 150 exhibitors, service providers that are represented across both service and software as a service throughout all the relevant industry sectors. You can expect to see vendors from everything from business funding or business capital, investment firms, of course, marketing, advertising, SEO, PPC type companies are always represented at Prosper. Another more obvious one is supply chain logistics. There are those who specialize in finance and accounting solutions, as well as, IP branding, legal services, and product launch and content marketing. So there's a wide range. It's pretty much anything you would expect is there in some way, shape, or form.
I'm excited that people are going to be registering in the Expo Hall because it's going to be during build, and that's such a cool process. That's such a huge room, right? And the ceilings are so tall, and to watch these booths get constructed, and they're all different types of booths, and there's such an eclectic mix of colors and sounds, and it's just exciting. The build process is kind of exciting. So I'm excited that attendees are gonna like go get their badge and look in there like, wow, look at that coming together. So I think that's neat.
It is really cool. It's like they build a city of booths.
Yeah. It's like, and then there's stuff hanging from the ceiling, and it's just, it's my favorite show. So I'm just excited about it. But what are going to be your like top 3 recommendations for someone who's attending Prosper Show?
Like I said, like use the event app, go on the website, like plan your attack, know who you want to go see, get to sessions early, like bookmark them, plan a day. There's also matchmaking capabilities within the app, right? So you can pre-schedule meetings, ideally reaching out through the app, and there's that communication mechanism that you could utilize to sort of plan ahead. I'd say plan ahead is like the major theme here, but creating that schedule, registering for the think tanks. Think tanks are the most popular element of the conference. So I'd say, get on the app, register for those. Of course, if you're already signed up, you have access to register. So just go in there and make sure you do that. There's like I said, there's 3 think tanks. The one on Monday is for advanced sellers. So looking at those who have 0 to 6 years selling experience. The one Tuesday is for master sellers, which is 6+ years. And then Wednesday, we're doing the think tank for brand sellers.
Awesome. That's good to know. And those think tanks do fill up, space is limited, and you really have to be a seller to register for those. So you're not going to be inundated with service providers. And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't there a seller only networking event on that Monday where no service providers are allowed. It's just sellers talking to sellers. That's something brand new to Prosper Show that I'm very excited about, because that's something that is just for attendees. It's not for the rest of us that are wearing logo t-shirts.
Yeah, it was like one of those things that was also in demand. Feedback that we got on the surveys is attendees wanted the more peer-to-peer networking style things. So we created this happy hour essentially that takes place after exhibitor move-in day or after the first day of the conference on Monday. And I think the timing there is 5 to 7 p.m. I want to say.
Yeah, I bet all the service providers are going to figure out a place to be so that they can you can find us all down here. But Mandalay Bay is pretty easy to navigate, and Prosper Show attendees have been known to take over Rhythm and Riff more than one time. So
Once or twice, yeah. Don't get much sleep when we're out there.
I always think I'm gonna go to bed early, but it just doesn't happen. I tell people my internal clock turns off in Las Vegas, but it just doesn't exist.
I mean, it's a one time a year thing. We're in Vegas. It's after the new year. It's just fun. Like, and people that you talk to all year over Zoom are all there. Like, and it's just a really cool thing. Like, I've heard some people refer to it as like the Oscars of Amazon sellers, which is interesting. Like all these e-commerce celebrities, thought leaders, people that you see posting all day on LinkedIn are all there, and it's just really cool to have access to those individuals.
It is. Well, thank you, Joe. I will see you in March. If you want to attend Prosper Show and you don't know everything you need to know from this video, reach out to us. I will make sure in the blog post we do about this that you've got access to Joe, you've got access to me. So we will see you in March.
Thanks, Liz.
Thanks, Joe.